Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Patler, and streaming today because one of our heroes and wonderful men has been assassinated, and I am trying just to honor him and create content that would coincide with the work that he was doing. His name is Charlie Kirk, and I want to honor his life and remember his life by emulating his life. So I'm just gonna listen to some other things. Um, Hope you guys enjoy and follow along.
He went into the lion's den. He was, he was brave.
Fearless. Yeah.
I wonder if he was fearless. I wonder if he was scared. I wonder if he just did it anyway.
I mean, I'm sure he was scared at some point, but just the look on his face, the little smirk that he would have when he would go, okay, I hear what you're saying, but, you know, yeah, I don't think there's anybody who argues like him to take his place.
No, and what came out in this interview?
One of the things that is he was the best of us. He was the kindest, compassionate, gentle debater amongst all the other ones in the conservative movement. He was so kind and nice, and they stole that from us.
The last one I did with him,
Mm-hmm.
it was almost a parenthetical. He was telling me something I knew and something probably that most of his audience knew, but he didn't go to college.
I know.
He didn't go to college, but he read every damn thing he could get his
Yeah.
hands on. He read everything,
Yeah.
and he logged it away. And so what's he do, man? He goes to college to share
Yeah.
what he learned, not from college,
Yeah.
but from the world,
I
and
know.
to meet his interlocutors on their turf,
Yeah.
and to debate on their terms. And when you look at that audience today, I don't know how many in the audience are with him or against him,
Yeah.
but it's a big audience, and most of them are there. The vast majority are there to listen and maybe have their minds changed, or maybe have their ideas challenged.
Or even if you're not sure where you fall, just to hear people coming from it at totally opposite directions, it's a good thing. It's a healthy thing. It's what the country is based on.
It's the essential thing.
Essential, indeed.
It's the essential thing. I may not agree with you, but I'll
right.
risk my life
Yeah.
to defend your right to say whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
That's
And that's what he did. He risked his life. He know he knew about these death threats. He's made videos of saying that he has death threats on the daily. They have a full security detail that, you could look at the comments of some of the videos that he's posting, and the filth and the venom and the hatred that people have for this man just for having a different opinion of them. And those threats have come true. Just so wrong.
what he was. That's who said that? It was Voltaire.
Was it?
I think so.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, so sorry, it's not the most uplifting episode of the way I heard it.
Micro.
But it's the only thing I could possibly do, is to add my condolences to the pile of of the shattered. See what tomorrow brings.
Well, you don't have any predictions on what is going to happen next, do you? You just think something's going to happen.
Look, I was 6 in 1968. I remember when King was killed. I remember the look on my parents' face watching a black and white TV and the way they just shook their heads. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know who he was.
Right.
But I knew that something had changed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what. And you would think I'd be... you think I'd have a better answer, 56 years later.
It's tough to say. I mean, just with all of the things that have happened recently, it feels like 1968. I mean, I was 5 in 1968. But I remember, too, RFK, his train heading to his final resting place in D.C., I believe, is where he is, right? I think he's buried in Arlington, maybe? Or
Probably.
I don't know. But I was just, I was 5, and my sister and I were sitting on the floor, and she was weeping, and I didn't understand why. I just saw the train, but I know, looking back at that time, all of the things that happened, all of the, just so many people assassinated that year.
Mm.
And it's never a good idea. That's never a good argument.
You know what, man? No, it's never a good argument, but
And people I've been chatting with some of my friends, and they think it's on both sides. They think these assassinations happen on both sides. It's not one-sided. It's not both-sided. It's only one-sided. The left is out to kill us. Period. They killed Charlie Kirk. And people are like, we need to unify. We don't say these things. If we do not know our enemy and the capacity of our enemies, then it's over.
we say a lot, history is a wheel, and it spins, and there's a real temptation, I think, to take the feeling we have right now. And look, Charlie Kirk was not RFK or JFK or Martin Luther King, but he might have been.
Yeah.
And there, whatever it is, something bigger than him died today. And what that's going to mean, I truly don't know, but I can see just in the anecdotal conversations I've had in the hour or so since this happened, it doesn't fit neatly onto a shelf, you know?
No.
It doesn't. So I don't really know. I know a lot of people are feeling scared. And I think, too, you know, this business in Charlotte.
I'm not scared. I'm deeply heartbroken and angry and vengeful. I'm not scared.
Charlotte. It's another video that's really hard to watch, and it makes us feel like something is untethered. That's the feeling.
Yeah. Something ain't right.
Right. And that's going to have to be corrected, addressed. And I wish I had a better answer. I don't know. The only thing remotely optimistic is that I know that we're tempted to see the headlines of our day as new and as special and as unexampled. nobody's lived in a time like this. The country's never been this divided. These feelings surely must be new because we're special and this is our time. But to your point, 1968,
Yeah.
1865,
Yeah.
and so it goes. People will argue.
This day will live in infamy for the rest of our lives.
Whether he was a great man, and a lot of people who disagreed with him will keep their counsel. But one thing's for sure, he loved this foundation, and he was my friend, and I'll miss him.
I didn't even know him. I just knew of him, and I'd seen his work, and I could appreciate the talent that he had. And I know how he got it, honestly, by just reading and studying. And he could speak about the Constitution. He could speak about the Bible. Every time one of his videos came up my feed, I watched it to the end, and I smiled because I thought, this guy is an amazing talent. He is a rhetorical. He's brilliantly, he's brilliant with rhetoric.
You know, the thing he says somewhere on this video, Mike Rowe, I agree with you so much I can't stand it. And all I said was, with respect to that point, I said, my liberal arts education has served me well. And I said, I'm sorry you didn't have one. He goes, oh, I got one. And I said, right, but my point is everybody who's got one of these has one. 99% of the known information in the world is on this thing.
Yeah, right.
Thanks to this thing, we all got the terrible news today that we got. But it's with us, and access to all the knowledge you could want. And that's the thing that he and I agreed with, I think, most passionately. Anyway, we'll miss you.
R.I.P.
See what the stream sounds like.
Anyway.
I want to honor his life and remember his life by emulating his life. So I'm just going to listen to some other things.
This is the number one way I know how to not only protect wealth, but grow it.
Listen a little bit to
remembered for that, and I just still can't believe it. Let me give you guys the news. Let me read for you what the reports are saying. Donald Trump has issued a statement on Charlie Kirk, and I'll tell you what I know. What I can tell you about on our end, I just want to say to his family, anything, anyone, any of you guys, whatever you need. CNN has reporting on this. Trump says conservative activist Charlie Kirk is dead. Rapid Response 47. A statement from Donald Trump. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me. And now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you. At Charlie's event in Utah, he's a very large crowd, and he was speaking under a tent, as he normally does, as was so famously depicted in one of the most recent South Park episodes. That was the legend. That is the legend. That is Charlie Kirk. Shots rang out. It appeared in the initial videos. He was shot in the neck. That appears to be the case. Subsequently, more videos were published on X showing the severity Reporting had circulated for the past hour or so that he was in critical but stable condition, with the AP making that statement. It is now being reported across the board that Charlie has not made it. And I can't believe it. Charlie was the best. TPUSA is the I don't know, the most prominent and important political organization that we have in this country, with many people saying that it rivals or even surpassed that of the RNC and what the GOP could even muster up. So I don't know if there's any official updates. The suspect in the shooting is not yet in custody, according to a spokesperson from Utah Valley University, despite the school saying earlier police did have someone in custody. Photos and video did emerge of a man being detained and held, but these are initial reports, and it's hard to know what exactly is true. I got a lot to say on this personally, of course, but I want to try and hold back on that because, with all due respect, I don't know. I want to make sure.
Tim is an amazing, he's an amazing guy. He is so heartbroken, and you can see it in his eyes. He was crying. And so many people cannot believe what's happening, nor what has happened to our country. We are not the same. That's right. Well done, good and faithful servant. We are all Charlie now. Statement from J.D. Vance. A while ago, probably in 2017, I appeared on Tucker Carlson's Fox show to talk about God knows what. Afterwards, the name I barely knew sent me a DM on Twitter and told me I did a great job. It was Charlie Kirk. And that moment of kindness gave me a friendship that lasted until today. Charlie was fascinated by ideas and always willing to learn and change his mind. Like me, he was skeptical of Donald Trump in 2016. Like me, he came to see President Trump as the only figure capable of moving America politics away from globalism that had dominated for our entire lives. When others were right, he learned from them. When he was right, as he usually was, he was generous. With Charlie, the attitude was never "I told you so," but "welcome." Charlie was one of the first people I called when I thought about running for Senate in 2021. I was interested but skeptical there was a pathway. We talked through everything, from strategy to fundraising to grassroots of the movement he knew so well. He introduced me to some of the people who would run my campaign and also to Donald Trump Jr. Like his dad, he misunderstood. He's extremely smart and very much our wavelength. Don took a call from me because Charlie asked him to. Long before I ever committed, even in my mind, to running, Charlie had me to speak to his donors at TPUSA event. He walked me around the room and introduced me. He gave me honest feedback on my remarks. He had no reason to do this, no exception that I'd go anywhere. I was polling at that point well below 5%. He did it because we're friends and because he was a good man. When I became VP nominee, something Charlie advocated for both in public and private, Charlie was there for me. I was so glad to be part of the president's team, but candidly surprised by the effort it had on our family. Our kids, especially our oldest, struggle with the attention and the constant presence of the protective detail. I felt this acute sense of guilt that I had conscripted my kids into this life without getting their permission. And Charlie was consistently calling and texting, checking on our family, and offering guidance and prayer. Some of our most successful events were organized not by the campaign but by TP USA. He also wasn't just a thinker, he was a doer, turning big ideas into bigger events with thousands of activists. And after every event, he would give me a big hug, tell me he was praying for me, and ask me what he could do. You focus on Wisconsin, he'll tell me Arizona is in the bag, and it was. Charlie genuinely believed in and loved Jesus Christ. He had profound faith. He used to argue about Catholicism and Protestantism and who was right about minor doctrinal questions. Because he loved God, he wanted to understand him. Someone else pointed out that Charlie died doing what he loved, discussing ideas. He would go into these hostile crowds and answer these questions. If it was a friendly crowd and a progressive asked a question to jeers from the audience, he encouraged his fans to calm down and let everyone speak. He exemplified a foundational virtue of our republic, the willingness to speak openly and debate ideas. Charlie had an uncanny ability to know when to push the envelope and when to be conventional. I've seen people attack him for years for being wrong on this or that issue publicly, never realizing that privately he was working to broaden the scope of acceptable debate. He was a great family man. I was talking to the president in the Oval Office today. He said, I know he was a very good friend of yours. I nodded silently, and the president, Trump, observed that Charlie really loved his family. The president was right. Charlie was so proud of Erica and the two kids. He was so happy to be a father. He felt so much gratitude for having found a woman of God with whom he would build a family. Charlie was a true friend, the kind of guy you would say something to and know would always stay with him. I am on more than a few group chats with Charlie and people he introduced me over the years. We celebrated weddings and babies, bust each other's chops, and mourn the loss of loved ones. We talk about politics and policy and sports and life. These group chats include people at a very high level of our government. They trusted him, loved him, and knew he'd always have their backs. And because he was a true friend, he would instinctively trust the people Charlie introduced to you. So much of the success we had in this administration traces directly to Charlie's ability to organize and convene. He didn't just help us win in 2024, he helped us staff the entire government. I was in a meeting with the West Wing when those group chats started lighting up with people telling they were praying for Charlie, and that's how I learned the news that my friend had been shot. I prayed a lot over the next hour as first good news and then bad trickled in. God didn't answer those prayers, and that's okay. He had other plans. And now that Charlie's in heaven, I'll ask him to talk to the big man directly on behalf of his family and friends and the country he loves so dearly. You ran a good race, my friend. We've got it from here. I don't even know Charlie Kirk. I don't. I've never met him, and I regret that. I could have been involved somehow with TP USA. I could have tried to go to a couple events or something, but I was too busy doing my own thing. And now I regret not having met the man.